angry again, only for a little bit, but it's a multiple memories. Say this time there's a couple. Yeah, the manipulation of eyesight or perception, I should say. My manipulation of the psyche, mentality, anything involved, any kind of senses actually. That's what I attribute. There's probably a name for it by Claire something. I don't know. The whole phrase Claire. It's a manipulation of the senses, and both have to do with my house over there in New Jersey, my parents' house where I used to live. It was early 2000s, and one was after September 9/11, 2000. Excuse me. Hey, friend, can you sit on the cloth? These my wing notes over here, as I like to call them, they tickle. They have tiny little feet. They walk around. They're feeling good, I bet. But anyway, see, a real friend wouldn't do it. Actually, a decent individual, a being wouldn't do that. To manipulate, deceive for their own benefit or anything else, or whatever the motives are. So it had to do with my house, and yeah, I mean, it's like it felt very uncomfortable. When I was in front of the doorstep. As individuals, then I start thinking, well, they're not from the United States of America, especially when everyone in the United States said September 9/11, we would say, oh, because 9/11 this and that. And I think I was talking about how untruthful it was, how corrupted, how U.S. government had a lot to do with it. And they said, oh, well, what do you say then? Why don't you just say September of 2001? And I was like, well, and then someone said, well, isn't that like emergency code? I was like, what the hell's going on? What the fuck's going on? And I was in Poland. Except I was in Jersey. I saw Jersey, but I wasn't. Physically, I was in Poland. But physically, I didn't see, Poland. I saw New Jersey. Whoever it was, they got me on a plane or something. This and the other thing. I didn't know I was going on a plane. As it goes against my rights. My, my being, I didn't authorize. I didn't want to do that. I've been multiple times. All over the world, actually. Especially United States, so Florida, California. And the second time was, and all those times I thought it was in my home, actually, So the second time was a guy, it was like roughly my age, 20s, and he was sitting on my couch, but he was sitting on the top, like the part you lean, he was sitting on there, and he had his feet on the sitting area, like on the bleachers. And I was like, what the fuck is going on here? And it's like, I'm not schizophrenic. I don't hallucinate, It's like, back then I wasn't diagnosed with anything, actually. I don't know if I was diagnosed with a bipolar disorder when I saw that guy. And I think that was my school, St. Mary's. That's what it was, Because multiple times I was home, but I was in St. Mary's, or maybe they actually had me go somewhere else, actually, a lot of times. Who knows? But, it's like, I'm trying to say, I mean, what if I took, what if I started raging, acting out? How many people in the United States own guns? What if you go and you have your gun on you, depending if they let you? I mean, you just take the gun out. I mean, you gotta protect your fucking home, though, right? And yeah, the way I see it, it's like, you gotta protect your home, you gotta protect your family. Because who knows what that guy did before or after, he's just sitting there nonchalantly, And whether he knows, he doesn't know what's going on, well, you know what? He's gonna get caught up in anger, frustration. I mean, I want to grab him and throw him the fuck out. Get the fuck off my fucking couch. Where the fuck are you, little fucking punk? Get the fuck out of here. I mean, I would have done so many fucking things to him. I'm not that aggressive. I'm not that violent person. But yeah, I probably would have called the police or something. Considering if I had the option of, the phone wasn't even a phone or something. Because when those individuals do that, this will not be a beer bottle. Somebody's gonna fucking tell me, you should get a job. Go look for babes. Get a girl. Yeah, get a girl. It'd probably be like, that guy who's just sitting on there. Oh, also could be. Because that happened multiple times, too. The ones I was, going out with, in a relationship with, a lot of times it wasn't even them. I was sitting at a bar, and I saw my ex-girlfriend, Dominica, and she was in the States for years. I'm like, what are you just doing, inexplicably, without any kind of notice? And I still didn't know for years who that fucking person was. Should I get a fucking girl now? I mean, I'm not fucking angry. It's like, what do you do with that? Excuse me, friend, it tickles a little.